Have you ever wondered why some healthy vegetables can quietly sabotage your blood sugar? Corn is one of the most misleading foods for people with diabetes. At first glance, it seems harmless, natural, colorful, even labeled as a good source of fiber. But here's the shocking part. Corn has a high glycemic index and a dense concentration of starch, which means it can cause sudden spikes in blood glucose levels. For someone over 60 managing type 2 diabetes, that's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Now, before we go deeper, let me ask you something. Are you already subscribed to the channel? If not, this is the perfect moment to hit that red button and leave a like if you're learning something new. And if you're already part of our community, thank you. Your support helps us bring more truth to light, especially on topics most people ignore. Let's keep going, because what you're about to learn could help you prevent a serious mistake in your diet. Back to corn. Did you know a single medium ear can contain over 25 grams of carbohydrates? That's more than a slice of white bread. And we're not even talking about processed corn products like tortillas, popcorn, or corn syrup yet. When you consume corn in these forms, your blood sugar doesn't just rise, it can skyrocket. According to the American Diabetes Association, foods with high GI values like corn can make glucose control significantly harder in older adults. Here's where it gets even more concerning. As we age, insulin sensitivity naturally decreases. Combine that with the starchy load of corn, and your body has to work twice as hard to bring your sugar back down. Over time, this can contribute to insulin resistance, inflammation, and a faster progression of diabetic complications. Doesn't it seem unfair that something marketed as wholesome could be such a hidden threat? Let's break the silence on this. If you've ever felt confused about which vegetables are actually safe for diabetes, you're not alone. Many people grew up thinking corn was a healthy side dish, but today, with more research and better understanding of the glycemic response, we know that not all veggies are created equal. Some of them, like corn, can act more like sugar bombs in disguise. I'd love to hear from you. Have you been including corn in your meals thinking it was a safe choice? Share your experience in the comments with the phrase, "I trusted corn," so we know you're part of this awakening. Thank you for being here, for caring about your health, and for being part of a community that supports one another without judgment. If you ever need guidance on a meal or have questions, this is a safe space to ask. When you see the word vegetable, you probably don't expect it to come with a warning label, but corn is that exception. Keep watching, because what comes next may change how you look at your plate forever. And trust me, the next item is even more deceptive than this one. Now you can join our channel's exclusive group. As a super member, you get priority responses. I'm notified and reply to you first, but if I were you, I'd go further. As a loyal member, you also get early access to videos before anyone else. Stay one step ahead and enjoy exclusive content firsthand. Don't miss out. Click now and become a member. You might think you've cut corn out of your diet, but what if I told you it's sneaking back in without your permission? That's right. Corn is hiding in more processed foods than most people realize. From breakfast cereals to salad dressings, and even in sugar-free snacks, corn-derived ingredients like high-fructose corn syrup, maltodextrin, and cornstarch are silently disrupting your blood sugar. It's like trying to win a game where the rules keep changing. For diabetic seniors, these hidden ingredients are especially dangerous. They enter the bloodstream quickly, with little fiber or protein to slow their impact. According to a study in the journal Nutrients, processed corn-based additives are linked to increased insulin demand and glycemic variability. That means more ups and downs in your sugar levels, which over time can exhaust your pancreas and lead to medication dependence. Are you checking food labels or trusting the front of the package? Here's something that might surprise you. Even healthy or natural products at health food stores often use corn syrup solids or corn fiber. It's a cheap filler and flavor enhancer. The problem is, it adds up. If your breakfast bar, soup, and juice all contain a little hidden corn, by the end of the day you've consumed more than your body can handle, without even knowing it. Doesn't that feel like a betrayal? Let me pause for a second to invite you to be part of something bigger. If you're learning from this video, consider becoming a member of our channel. Members get early access to new content and priority responses to comments, especially when you need help with your diet. Plus, you're supporting a platform that's 100% focused on truth and empowerment for diabetics over 60. It's more than just content. It's a movement. And if you've ever looked at a food label and thought, "I have no idea what this word means," you're definitely not alone. Let's use the comments to help each other decode these ingredients. Drop the word label watcher below if you've ever had to Google a strange ingredient name. This will also help others feel encouraged to ask for help, because no one here needs to pretend they've got it all figured out. It's frustrating when companies use misleading terms like corn sugar or natural sweetener to disguise what's really inside. But you're not powerless. The more you learn, the more you can take back control of your meals. Reading labels might feel overwhelming at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's like learning a secret language that protects your health. Food is supposed to nourish us, not trick us. If corn is still sneaking into your pantry through processed products, it's time to clean house. And if you think that was eye-opening, wait until you hear about a popular, healthy side dish that may be just as risky for your blood sugar. Did you know that many dishes that seem healthy for diabetics can actually be dangerous? Discover the recipes that really work. Stop feeling limited or insecure in the kitchen. My book brings together delicious and easy recipes specially created to keep your blood sugar under control and add more flavor to your life. I've already helped thousands of diabetics eat better, feel happier, and achieve a lighter life with my book. Every recipe has been tested and approved by those who understand the needs of people living with diabetes. Click the link in the first comment of this video now and get immediate access to the book that will transform your meals today. Let's talk about cornmeal, a staple in many traditional dishes like polenta, cornbread, and even some pancakes. It sounds innocent, right? After all, it's just ground corn. But that's exactly the problem. Once the corn is processed into a fine powder, its impact on your blood sugar becomes even more intense. The smaller the particle size, the faster it's digested. And the faster it's digested, the quicker it dumps glucose into your bloodstream. This is particularly important for diabetics over 60, who may already struggle with slower metabolism and insulin sensitivity. A 2021 study in the Journal of Diabetes Research showed that refined cornmeal has a glycemic index nearly as high as white rice, ranking between 68 to 75 depending on the preparation. That's a huge red flag. And when combined with butter or sugar in recipes, the damage can be even greater. Are traditional comfort foods sabotaging your glucose levels? Most people don't realize that whole grain doesn't always mean safe for diabetes. Cornmeal can still cause sharp spikes, especially if it's degermed, meaning the fibrous outer layer and the nutrient-rich germ are removed. That leaves mostly starch, which hits your bloodstream hard. It may be cultural, nostalgic, or comforting, but is it worth the crash that comes afterward? That's the question we all have to ask. And if you've been enjoying dishes like arepas, hush puppies, or grits thinking they were harmless, don't worry, you're not alone. This is the kind of thing no one teaches us growing up. But learning it now means you have the power to choose differently. And remember, you don't have to give up flavor or tradition. You just have to get smarter with substitutions. We'll be diving into those options in future videos. Tell me this, what's one dish from your childhood that you now realize may be hurting your blood sugar more than helping? Leave it in the comments with the phrase, "My blood sugar surprise," so we can talk about it together. Thank you for always being open to reflect, share, and help others in this community. Every comment you leave might help someone else avoid a dangerous mistake. Cornmeal is tricky because it's so deeply woven into our memories and routines. But your health is more important than any recipe. And here's a tip. If you're trying to transition away from cornmeal, look for low GI flours like almond or coconut. They digest slower and won't send your glucose into chaos. Sometimes the smallest swaps can make the biggest difference. Now that you understand how even ground-up corn can throw off your sugar balance, let's move to a form of corn that's even sneakier and often marketed as healthy. So I'm talking about the kind that hides in frozen aisles and gets added to meals without you even noticing. Frozen corn is often seen as a quick, nutritious side dish, easy to heat, colorful, and seemingly harmless. But don't let the convenience fool you. Even though it's not processed with additives like canned corn, it still carries the same blood sugar risks. One small cup of frozen corn contains around 30 grams of carbs. That's nearly the same as 2 slices of white bread. And the tricky part, people tend to eat more than they think, especially when it's served on the side. For older adults managing diabetes, portion control becomes crucial. Our bodies don't metabolize starches the same way they did in our 20s. According to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, high-starch vegetables like corn can contribute to a higher risk of type 2 diabetes when consumed in large or frequent servings. And since frozen corn feels like a healthy choice, most people never question how much they're actually eating. Have you ever served yourself a small scoop only to realize it turned into half the plate? You're not alone. Frozen corn is sweet, satisfying, and easy to overeat. And because it doesn't cause fullness as quickly as high-fiber veggies, you might still feel hungry after a full portion. That means you're likely to eat even more carbs without even noticing. It's a slow trap that adds up fast. Here's something to think about. Are you measuring your portions, or are you relying on what feels reasonable? There's a big difference. Just like rice or pasta, corn needs to be measured, not guessed. And while it might sound like a hassle, it's actually empowering. Knowing exactly what's on your plate gives you control over your sugar, your energy, and even your medication levels. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, "But it's just corn, how bad can it be?" Go ahead and share the phrase "just corn-ish," right? In the comments. It's our way of admitting we've all been there. And it opens the door for others to join the conversation too. Thank you for being honest and vulnerable here. This community grows stronger every time someone speaks up. You might be wondering, should you cut out frozen corn completely? Not necessarily, but it shouldn't be a default side dish. Instead, rotate with low-carb vegetables like spinach, zucchini, or cauliflower. These options won't spike your glucose and still taste great with herbs or garlic. And don't worry, your meals won't be boring. We'll cover tasty replacements in upcoming videos that won't make you miss the corn at all. The next time you reach for a bag of frozen corn, take a moment to think about how much you're really eating and how often, because what seems like a safe choice can quietly sabotage your efforts. But if you think this was surprising, wait until you hear how popcorn, yes, even the air-popped kind, might be working against your health too. Popcorn has long been seen as the guilt-free snack of choice. It's light, crunchy, and often labeled as whole grain, which makes it feel like a smart option, especially for people trying to manage their weight or blood sugar. But here's the catch. Just because something is low in calories doesn't mean it's safe for diabetics. In fact, popcorn can cause unpredictable blood sugar responses, especially when eaten in large quantities or flavored with butter, salt, or caramel. A single cup of plain, air-popped popcorn has about 6 grams of carbohydrates. Not terrible. But let's be honest, who stops at just 1 cup? Most people eat 3 to 4 cups without thinking twice, which suddenly turns your snack into 24 grams of carbs without any protein or fat to slow down the absorption. This leads to rapid digestion and, yes, those familiar sugar spikes. And remember, for seniors managing type 2 diabetes, those spikes are more dangerous than they seem. Let's talk science for a second. According to a review published in Diabetes Care, the glycemic load of popcorn varies depending on preparation. Air-popped has a lower impact, but once you add oils, sugars, or eat large portions, it behaves more like a high GI snack. Some people even experience delayed spikes hours after eating it, making it even harder to trace. Have you ever felt shaky or tired a while after snacking? It might not be a coincidence. This is where being part of a focused, trustworthy community makes all the difference. If you've been enjoying our content, I want to personally invite you to become a member of this channel. Members get early access to videos, exclusive posts, and best of all, priority replies when you need advice. Imagine never feeling lost again about what to eat or avoid. Together, we're building a space where support is constant and confusion has no place. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you been relying on popcorn as your go-to snack? Be honest, and drop the phrase, "I thought popcorn was safe," in the comments. You'll be surprised how many others share the same experience. And if you have a popcorn story, or need ideas for safer snacks, feel free to ask. No judgment here. This is a space where we lift each other up, not tear each other down. So what can you snack on instead? Think nuts, boiled eggs, or veggie sticks with hummus. They digest slower, provide protein and fiber, and don't mess with your sugar levels. You don't have to give up snacking, you just have to snack smarter. It's all about keeping your energy stable and your health on track. Doesn't that sound like a better deal? Popcorn might feel like a friendly option, but it can turn on you fast. So next time you're watching a movie or looking for a late-night bite, ask yourself, will this leave me feeling better or worse? Coming up next, we're exposing one last corn-based product that hides in plain sight, and it's one that many diabetics eat daily without realizing the risk. What's the first thing many people reach for in the morning? A bowl of cereal. It feels like a quick, light, and healthy way to start the day. But if that cereal happens to be cornflakes, you might be unknowingly setting yourself up for blood sugar chaos. Despite being marketed as fortified and part of a balanced breakfast, cornflakes are one of the worst offenders when it comes to glycemic impact, especially for diabetics over 60. The reason? Cornflakes are heavily processed. The corn is stripped of its fiber and natural fats, then flattened and toasted into a crisp form that digests extremely fast. According to the International Table of Glycemic Index, cornflakes score a whopping 81 on the GI scale, higher than white bread and nearly on par with pure glucose. That means the sugar rush is immediate, and so is the crash. Have you ever felt tired or hungry again right after breakfast? That's why. What's worse is that many people add sugar, honey, or fruit juice on top of their cornflakes, thinking they're improving the flavor naturally, but in reality, they're pouring fuel on the fire. Even sugar-free versions of cornflakes often include hidden sweeteners or refined starches that still spike blood sugar. It's a sneaky trap, and unfortunately, it's aimed at people who are trying to do the right thing. That's what makes it so frustrating. Let's pause and connect for a moment. If this topic hit close to home for you, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments with the phrase, "No more cornflakes," so others can see they're not alone. Thank you for being brave enough to reflect, comment, and support others who are just starting this journey. We're a community here. Every question, every comment, every story helps someone else feel less alone. Now you might be asking, what should I eat instead? Great question. Consider switching to high-fiber, low-GI options like chia pudding, unsweetened Greek yogurt, or steel-cut oats. These digest more slowly and give your body time to respond without flooding it with glucose. And if you need ideas, just ask in the comments. You'll find others here happy to share what's working for them. That's the power of having a support system. It's important to remember that diabetes-friendly living doesn't mean boring or restrictive. It just means conscious and informed. Every smart choice you make in the morning can set the tone for the rest of your day, and that includes knowing which foods are pretending to be healthy. Cornflakes might wear a wholesome disguise, but under the surface they're just another sugar-loaded landmine. And if learning the truth about corn surprised you today, just wait until you see what's coming next. I'm leaving a video right here on the screen that dives into some of the most overlooked foods people with diabetes are eating daily, thinking they're doing everything right. But the truth? Some of these foods might be quietly working against your progress. If you're serious about improving your blood sugar naturally and avoiding silent setbacks, this next video is one you cannot afford to miss. It's packed with tips and food swaps that most doctors don't talk about, but that could change everything for you. Go ahead and click it now. See you there.